Yo, welcome back to another videos. And today we're gonna be talking about how I got into crippling debt as a 19 years old. You wanna know my secrets on how I made negative $20,000 within less than a year? Well, I got you. In mid 2023, I was debt free. That rhymed. After having been in debt before, I told myself at the time that I'm never gonna get into debt again. That was a good joke. And then I realized that I was young, I'm still 19 years old. And so then I decided that I would live my life while I'm still young. So for the next 8 to 10 months, I was balling, spending all my money. Even money that I did not have. Spent all of it. Yep. Here are the things that I've spent on. Theme parks, museums, aquariums, fairs, Disneyland, Universal, Six Flags, Raging Waters, Knott's Berry Farm. You name it, I've been there. On top of this, I was spending on their merch, their food. I went to Halloween Horror Nights. I bought myself and my girl an exclusive 2023 Halloween Horror Nights merch. And that's just one example. I think this was single-handedly one of my biggest expense. Nah, I'm just kidding. My biggest expense ever was eating out constantly. Sometimes it would even be fancy even though I had no money. And it doesn't even have to be fancy. Honestly, the majority of the debt came from fast food. Constant fast food, constant drinks, constant boba, constant coffee. All of them combined and it adds up like hell. And another big expense in my budget was gifts. Now, this is the one that I regret the least. The gifts were able to give me some very memorable memories, and it was able to make my girl and people I care about happy. So I regret this one the least, but I regret the other one though. I know that if Caleb Hammer were to see this video right now, he would yell at me and be like, if you're broke, gift yourself a job because you're in no position to give other people gifts. And that's true. I know I shouldn't have gone into those debts. I know what I was spending my money on, but at least the gifts were meaningful. But yeah, I know I should have just got myself back on track and then I gift. But it is what it is, Everything that Caleb Hammer might yell at me for is very understandable. I know, I was very dumb. Now this only roughly make up around $6,000 of my debt. Where does the other $14,000 come from, you might ask? I spent it on buying a brand new Tesla. Let me tell my story. Now, my girlfriend, I love her by the way, she lives really far from me. And my mom saw how much I was driving on a daily basis with my old 2002 Avalon and how much money I was spending on gas. I was honestly spending like $500 to $600 a month on gas alone. And so my mom decided to give me a small loan of $28,000 to buy a brand new electric car. And then I proceeded to pick a Tesla. I didn't know my mom would actually agree to it, but when she did, we literally bought the Tesla on the day of. My mom paid $28,000 and I was supposed to pay the rest of the $14,000 because my mom wanted to leave some balance for me just so that I can learn some responsibility. Technically, I could sell the car for roughly $25,000-$30,000 right now and be financially debt free. But I believe that I will get myself out of this and I could keep the Tesla. I will give it another couple months and I will see. At least I would try my very best because it was a gift. So yeah. Plus, I know that if I give myself the easy way out of debt right now, that would be a big mistake because I know that I would just get myself right back into the debt. I need this. I need to get out of debt the hard way. Otherwise, I know I'm gonna fall right back into debt. This is the only way I grow as a person and financially. This is how I get out of debt. Now let's talk about my mentality with my money at the time. Like in my video called I have $20,000 in debt as a 19 years old. I have talked about how my mentality at the time was that this is not my money and I can always make this up later. Those two combination of thoughts got me into $6,000 worth of credit card debt within 8 to 10 months. Because I always tell myself that I can pay it back up later. I can pay it off just like that until I don't. And then it adds up. And then now, look where I am. Which only enabled me to open up more credit cards when I needed more money. Because it's not my money, and I can always pay it off later. And with that mentality in mind, now I have 4 credit cards in total and a car loan. And I opened half of them because I wanted more money. Never do that. And I was doing all of this while having no job. I know. I was so dumb. I'm so stupid. I thought that since I was young, I was invincible. I could always make it back up until I came across Caleb Hammer. He is a professional debt reaper. He will instill fear within you for having debt. And it's a good thing because you need to know how serious and dire your situation when you have a crazy amount of debt. Because apparently it is very common for the average American to have more than $20,000 worth of debt. Maybe even 50. Maybe 100K, because there's something called student loans. My case, honestly, it is a small loan for now because I'm about to go to UCs and stuff, and oh boy, pray for me, boys. Eventually, my credit score had dropped so low that my Chase credit cards even shut down. They don't let me use their money anymore because I haven't paid off my credit card in so long, and the utilization is so high and it's been there for so long that my credit score is, and I stopped getting money that was in mine. And in my head, my mentality at the time, it was gone because I no longer have money. And this is when I began to become aware of my situation. I began to realize how dire and serious this situation was becoming. Which eventually, stress about money was introduced to my life. And I talked a lot about that in the video I made about my experience having debt. So, in conclusion, notice how my debt, literally most of it, was all on wants and none on needs. None of it is literally on needs. None of it is literally on necessary stuff that I need to live. I did not once buy groceries. I did not once pay my own rent. I did not once did anything because I have no responsibility at the time, and I was an immature kid, and I was so stupid with money. It is as expected of a 19 years old, I guess, but that's no excuse. I gotta get my shit together. Before you comment on how dumb I am, I know I was dumb. I'm still dumb. I'm still dumb now, but at least now I have crippling debt. So I am forced to be financially responsible and get my shit together. Anyways, I hope that you use this video as a case study on how to not get into crippling debt and what mentality with money to avoid. And for those of you with crippling debt right now who are in the same situation or maybe even worse, well, I hope you the best, and let's be financially responsible together from now on. I'm gonna be posting videos in the future on where I'm gonna try to find a job for myself. I'm gonna literally push into it, apply to like 5 billion a day, and I'm gonna be documenting my experience just so that I can have a system of accountability for myself, because I need to get myself out of this situation. I got myself into this situation, so I'm gonna be the one that got myself out of it. Anyways, that's about it. Bye.